Okay, here we go. Compound interest. The assignment is the last two problems in the packet. Okay, I deposit $300 in a savings account. The account earns 5% interest each year, compounded quarterly. How much money will be in the account over 12 years? Do not, when you have this phrase compounded quarterly, do not make the side box. A times b to the x power will not get the job done if it says compounded. I'm going to show you why. Even though I have those underlined, I shouldn't have underlined them. Okay. This is the formula you go to, and we'll determine what the variables mean down here. We'll get to that later. So you got P, parentheses 1 plus R divided by N, caret, and then it's N times T, okay, equals A. So we got to determine what these variables mean, what I can put in for what. Just like you want an A times B to the X power. Now P's the initial balance. Initial means the starting. You're always going to have that. It's 300. R is the next variable. R is your percent expressed in decimal form. Do not add it to 100 because you see the 1 right there stands for the 100. Because if you do that, you're screwing it up because the 100's right there as represented by the 1. So you just take the 5%, move it twice to the left. Okay. So 0.05. Once I get this all in, I'll explain what's working, how this kind of works. I'm not the greatest at explaining it, but N is a number of times in a year. If you see quarterly, that's 4 times in a year you get the interest into your account, so it's 4. And then T is the years, okay? And you know that that's 12. Now the A is what you don't know, question mark. So you're going to leave the A and every other letter gets replaced with its value. So P is 300. 1 plus rate 0.05. See, it's waiting to be added to 100 because that's a 1, but it has to be divided first by the N, which is 4. Now, how many times this gets compounded is a lot because in the N I'd go 4 times a year times 12 years equals A. Now here's how compound works. The rate gets divided by 4. So if you're the person with the account, you don't get as good a deal in that sense because the percent is divided before it's added to the 100. Okay? But that's canceled out by the fact that the exponent, okay, 12 years gets to be multiplied by 4. So it's like the rate's divided by 4, but the years are multiplied by 4. So it's like a trade-off. That's the best way I can explain it, how something compounded works. Now, first off, what you need to do is find out the one value that sits inside that parentheses. And you also need to find what your exponent is. 4 times 12 is 48, okay, equals A. Now, simplify within your parentheses. 1 plus 0 point, you can just do it on your calculator. You can't ABC, you have to hit divided by 4. You can't ABC decimals. 1.0125. Now, after the parentheses has been simplified and the exponent's been simplified, now you're ready to solve it. You're solving for A. You ain't got to do nothing because A is alone in the equation, all by itself. So if it's alone, you just punch that side in, and that tells you your A. 300 times parentheses 1.0125 to the power of 48. Okay, $544.61. Okay, now I'm going to be doing a bunch more. You deposit $500 in a bank account that earns 3% interest each year, compounded quarterly. How long will it be before the account reaches $1,000? So again, there's that compounded quarterly. P 1 plus R divided by N and then n times t equals a. So p, you're always going to have the p value at 500, or whatever the initial balance is. Then r, do the variables in the order they appear in the equation, not the order I have them here. Percent, once again, do not add it to 100. The 1 here stands for the 100. It will be added later, but first that 0.03 has to be divided. N, quarterly, that's 4. T is a number of years, and that's going to be, we don't know, question mark. So then I better know the A, okay? And I do. The A is the new balance. The A is $1,000. So put the numbers into the equation. So sometimes you're finding different variables, okay? So P, 500. 1 plus R 0.03 divided by 4. And then N is 4. Now we don't know T, so that's T. And then the A is 1,000. So first, before you're worried about, you simplify inside your parentheses. So 1 plus 0.03 divided by 4 is 1.0075. Then your exponent, you can't multiply, just put it as 4t equals 1,000. So the letter I'm solving for is t. Now t definitely is not alone, and it's a power. So what do you normally do? Well, you parenthesize the power in its base. So you can have a parentheses and a parentheses. Then outside the power, you have a times 500. You need to get rid of that by dividing by 500. That gives us 2. Now, I circle my exponent and do the COB, okay? 4t equals log over log. So the base is 1.0075, 2's on top. So 4t, punch that in, log of 2 divided by the log of 1.0075. 92.77. Now you're going to have to divide by the 4. 23.19. Okay. There's your answer. You can have a decimal for the number of years. It's fine. 23.19 years means over 23 years. Okay, next one. You deposit $100 in an account that pays 6% annual interest compounded quarterly. Okay, there's that word compounded. Find how much is in the account after 4 years. So P1 plus R divided by N to the power of N times T equals A. So P, what does P mean? It's the initial balance, $100. R, that's your rate. You know it's 6%. Do not add 100 to it on compounded. It's not a. You're not really finding. You don't find the factor. So then N, quarterly is 4. I think all of these in this packet are quarterlies. That's the most common type of interest. Okay. You can also have semi-annually where N is 2, monthly where N is 12. Most of the time it's 4. T is a number of years, which is 4. Well, that must mean I don't know the A. Okay, so put them in. It's easiest when you don't know the A. That's the easiest type of problem. Finding the A is the easiest. So P 100 times 1 plus R 0.06 divided by 4, and then N times T. So 4 times 4 equals A. Now simplify the parentheses and the exponent if possible before you do anything else. Because I want that base just to be one clear-cut value if possible, definitely possible. 1.015. caret, and the exponent 4 times 4 is obviously 16 equals A. Now, I'm solving for A. A is quite easy to solve for due to the fact that that variable is alone in the equation, so I just find what the other side equals on a calculator. 100 times 1.015 to the power of 16, okay? $127.90. $126.90. There's your money. A is easy, okay? It's when they give you the T where it's a little more complicated. You deposit $100 in an account that pays 4% annual interest compounded quarterly. Find how long it will take for the account to reach $1,000. P, there's that compounded word. You see that, you circle it. 1 plus R divided by N to the N times T power equals A. Okay, so P, R, N, T, and A. So my P is 100. R is the rate, okay, percent expressed in decimal form. So 0.04. N is number of times in a year. Quarterly, the N is 4. Okay. And then T is the years. We don't have that, so that's your question mark. So that T variable will stay. Okay, and then A is the new balance, which is $1,000. Put them in. So you have 100, 1 plus R, 0.04 divided by the N, which is 4, and then N times T. 4, I don't know T, so the T's staying. And not A. A is 1,000, okay? Okay, simplify the parentheses and the exponent if possible. It ain't possible to simplify the exponent, okay? So 100, 1 plus, simplify it. 1 plus 0.04 divided by 4, so that's 1.01. Exponent, 4 times T's got to just stay 4T, and then 1,000. Okay, now you're solving for T, and T is a power. So you parenthesize the power and its base, okay? You're going to circle the power. Now outside, you have an operation of times 100. To get rid of that, you divide by 100, okay? Because that's 100 times. The opposite of times is divide. 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So I have 1.01 to the power of 4t. And I don't care how the parentheses are lined up as long as they're there. Now you circle the power, 4t, and do your change of base, COB. So 4t equals log base 1.01, and then the product is 10. $231.41. If you misround it, it's not going to be a big deal. If you put a 40 instead of a 41, fine. It doesn't really matter. So 231.4 divided by 4, and that's going to be 57.85. And this should say years here that got cut off. I have that down there, just a copy machine cut it off. 57.85. So that's going to be a long time. I'm going to come back to this problem here later. Okay. You deposit $2,200 in a bank account that earns 3% interest compounded quarterly. Find how long it will take. Actually, no, I'll just do it now and get it out of the way. This one's different. Your parents put $14,000 in a bank account when you were born. The account is in a 10-year certificate of deposit, earning interest compounded quarterly. At the end of the time, it's worth $23,011. Calculate the interest rate of the deposit. I'm finding the percent. That's that in the compound form. We found the percent before in a previous assignment, but now in the compound formula, the percent can be tricky. Okay, so P1 plus R. When you see that word compounded, you shouldn't even think twice. Okay, times T to write that down. P R N T A. Okay, P, $14,000. Rate, you don't have the rate, so you put question mark, you'll keep the R. Then the N, okay, quarterly is 4, T is a years, that would be 10, and then A is the remaining amount, $23,011. Now somebody might ask, what if there's two things you don't know? Then you can't do the problem, okay? P, 14,000. 1 plus, well I don't have R, I know it's divided by 4, N times T, 4 times 10. And then A is 23,011. Now you can't simplify the parentheses. You can simplify the exponent, it would make 40. Okay, so that's pretty much as simplified as she's going to get for now. So you're solving for R. Well, what's special about R? Well, it's not a power and it's not a lone. Instead, it's a quantity. It's inside a parentheses. Just put a parentheses, or you can write the word quantity if you want. Now, what you're going to do if it's in a parentheses is you're going to replace that with H, okay? And down here, you're going to put 1 plus R divided by 4 equals. You don't need to do a table on these, not on a story problem. Okay, because a negative wouldn't be an applicable. It's to the 40th power, so it's going to be an even exponent that we're going to get rid of, which would be two sides of the table. But on a story problem, the negative's not applicable. So 14,000 H to the power of 40 equals 23,011. So how do you solve for H? Well, first you need to divide by 14,000. Then you need to make a radical, and yes, it's going to be a 40th root, okay? So you divide by 14,000. So H to the 40th power, whatever this is, 1.64. Then you cancel out the power by making a radical. 1 point, that's a 4, 1.64, and it's a 40th root, okay? Now I understand this would be a positive negative because it's an even root, but this is a story problem. We're just going to take the positive value, 1.01. So that's H. Now you bring that here, and then you get rid of these linear properties, okay? Meaning, first you got to get rid of the 1 that's being added by minusing 1, and that's 0.01. Then you get rid of the divide by 4 by times 4. Okay, and that's 0.01 times 4 is 0.04. Now to get the percent, you don't need to subtract the 1, you just need to move the decimal 2 to the right, and it's 4%. Now, I do not have a problem like that on the assignment, so that's good news for you. You deposit $2,200 in a bank account that earns 3% interest compounded quarterly. Each year, it will take the account to be worth $3,000, so P1 plus R divided by N to the power of NT, and times T equals A. P, R, N, T, A. P is 2,200. R, your rate, 3%. In the problems we're going to do from now on out, the percent will be given. You will not have to keep that as R. That's good for you. And quarterly, that's 4 T's the years. I don't know the years because that's the answer. And then A is 3,000. So put that in there. R 0.03. N 4. N 4 again. T we don't know. A 3,000. Now, before you worry about what you're solving for, you need to simplify the equation by finding the inside of your parentheses. Nothing stopping me from doing that, other than this idiot not knowing how to type in. 1.0075. Caret, can't simplify the exponents for T. 3,000. Okay, you're solving for T, and T is a power. You are solving for a power. You want to parenthesize the power along with the base. Even if you already have a parentheses, that's fine. And you are going to have to do the COB. But before you do that, you got an operation of this times 2200. You have to divide by 2200 before you apply the COB. So divide by 2,200. And we have 1.0075 to the 4t power equals 1.36. Now you can do your COB because you don't have any operations. You take your exponent 4t, and change of base means log over log. You will be putting the base 1.0075 in the denominator and the 1.36 product in the numerator. So 4t equals log 1.36 divided by log 1.0075. I came up with 41.15. Now you have to still divide by the 4 to solve for the t. $10.29. Boom. Okay, next problem, last problem. You deposit $2,500 in an account. You'll either be solving for A or T. A is obviously easier, okay? T, you got to parenthesize the base. It's a power, you parenthesize the base power, and you'll have to do the COB. You have to undo the operation outside before you do that. You deposit $2,500 in an account that pays 3% interest compounded quarterly. Find the balance in the account after 5 years. So P1 plus R divided by N to the power of N times T equals A. P 2,500. R, take your 3%, move the decimal twice, so 0.03. N is 4, okay. T, that's the years. They told you that was 5, so that leaves the A as the unknown value. That's good. A is easy. P, 2,500. R, 0.03. And then N, 4. N times T, so it's going to be 4 times 5 equals A. So first I simplify the parentheses, 1 plus 0 times. Okay. 1 plus 0.03 divided by 4. 1.0075. And the exponent's 20. A is simple and easy to solve for, okay? It's a loan, so you just plug it into your calculator. It's not, A is not in the power, not within the power, it is all loan. And you can put the parenthesis here, I'll just be consistent. $2,902.96, okay? Makes sense because A is the money, should say money. On number 1 and 2, you got to help me out here a little bit. Put number 1, put years down on the bottom. You'll be solving for t in that one, so you have to apply the change of base, the COB. Here, your money, so you're finding A.